Hey, what's going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and we're about to get started with a Saturday night open mic live. But as always, a word from our sponsors.
At InDigital, we know the public safety professionals hold themselves to a high standard. In fact, standard doesn't do it justice. In over 25 years working alongside you, carrying millions of calls over our IP networks, your dedication has inspired us. That's why our ESI Net goes beyond industry standards, not only I3 compliant, but designed to adapt to future development for a network you can count on when it matters most. Learn more at indigital.net.
Here in Greenville County, we have 8 different places where a 911 call can be answered.
It is the largest county in South Carolina. It's a challenge.
The type of information that a telecommunicator gets from Radius Plus is location-based technology. You can see where the caller is, if they have a medical issue, if they speak a different language. They're immediately able to text to that caller in their native language. It reduces response times because it immediately gets first responders where they need to be.
If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
Dispatch.
There is no one over here to cook our lunch. We are waiting for our lunch, and there's no one here to cook our lunch.
All right, calm down. Where are you at?
The group home. Now, what are you going to do?
We'll get some help over there for you, okay?
Welcome to Open Mic, where we visit the lighter side of dispatch, because laughing is good medicine. Yo, what is going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and this is Open Mic Live on Saturday night. It is March 5th. It's already March, man. It's March. February, I don't even know where February went. That month was so fast. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. This live broadcast is sponsored by InDigital as well as Rapid Deploy and Carbine. A big shout out to patrons as always. Thank you so much for everything. And it's been a week. It has been a pretty awesome week, actually. Just wrapping up CalNina 2022. It was an excellent experience. And then I flew straight from San Diego to Florida, Orlando, Florida, and that was something else. when I arrived there, the line for car rentals was just beyond belief, and they had one person working, and it sucked balls. I think the worst part was I always go through National. Okay, I always go through National, but they didn't have any cars, and apparently it was like bike week or something in the area, so that's most likely why all the cars were gone. But I was able to get one from Avis, and I got me a big ass minivan. Which that thing was pimp, man. Like, it's very practical, had tons of room. It was excellent. It was very nice. But and I'm going to get into a little bit of that here, but as you are all popping in here, and it looks like some of you have done this already. We got Tim here from Illinois, and he's about a 6 right now, so that's good. That's a good number. We'll see if we can get it up a little bit more as we go through this. But what is your number? It's Saturday. Usually we check in on Thursday, but because I had so much stuff that was going on, and I just ended up not doing it on Thursday, but here we are on Saturday. So I'm checking in with all of you. What is your number on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being shit, one being shitty, and 10 being superb, awesome. What is your number? And what is going on? It shows up here as G David. What's up? I like how you put your name in there as well. From the ATL at a 9. Very nice. Clay McIntyre. Let's see. Watching UFC tonight. Damn it. Okay. Let's see. It's 10 o'clock. It just started. So I'm looking forward to that Covington Masvidal match, that grudge match as they put it. And so if we're still on here when that is going down, you'll have to tell me who wins, man, because I'm not going to get a chance to watch it. And I'm not going to go back. I'll just end up watching the highlights or some shit. But I'm looking to see who's going to win. That'll be a good one. So let's see. I'm at about a 9. I would say I'm about at a 9 because it's been, like I said, it's been a great week. There's been a lot of stuff that's been going down. Yeah, Clay, that's what I'm talking about. Gary's at about a 7. Finally back to work this week. That is excellent. All right. So we got people in here with some good numbers. That is good stuff. I like that. I was traveling all day today. I got up at probably about 5:45 in the morning, and I ended up taking off from Orlando back to Detroit. And then I drove from Detroit back over here to Indiana. So I've been traveling all day. I still have a little bit of caffeine left, I think, which is what's keeping me awake right now. But things have been good. So I recently posted episode 428. It was a great episode. Make sure to check that out. That was with Wendy Hummel she's creator and host of Guns and Yoga podcast. And then episode 429 and 430 are coming up as well. And you do not want to miss those. Those are superb. They're very, very good. You will love them. Also, during my time over at Calnina, we did the first media partner spotlight with our newest media partner sponsor, and that is Rapid SOS. And that one went very well. If you've not seen it yet, make sure to check it out. It is all over social media, video wise. And I did a blog post actually this morning over Wi-Fi on the plane, getting some work done. And I put it out there as well. So that one is out there. We talked about the partnership, but also their partnership with SiriusXM, Connected Vehicle Services, and their telematics and all of that stuff. And then we also had an operations manager out of Chula Vista PD in California who shared how she uses what they have, but also some saves. So it was really cool. There's a lot of cool stuff that's going to be coming, some blog posts, and then monthly for the next 4 months will be those media partner spotlights with our sponsor Rapid SOS. So make sure to check those out. There's a lot of cool stuff that's going to be coming up with that. So that one was live. I did a few other live broadcasts, had a lot of fun there, met some new friends and reunited with some old ones. And it was just, like I said, like I keep saying, it was just a good time. I did an Imagine listening session. And let me tell you, if you've never been part of an Imagine listening session, it's hard to explain. And if you have, and you're in here in the comments, you know what it's like. You know what I'm talking about. It gets it gets emotionally intense, because there's a lot of hard stories that we're sharing, even some of the saves, those are, so a lot of times I will record the Imagine listening and open mic session to have it as an episode. Well, the equipment that they had wasn't the kind that I needed to record, so I was unable to record it, but everything that happened in that session was meant for us in that moment in time, and it was powerful. Lavelle, what is going on? Hello, welcome. A lot of times it might be heavier on people writing down stories versus people sharing stories out loud, and then vice versa. But this time we went about 40 minutes straight of people just sharing and sharing. And I shared a couple of mine as well. But people were just sharing story after story, and it was just awesome. So if you were there during the Imagine Listening session at Cal Nina, thank you so much for being part of that session. And if you didn't share a story, it is all good because you were there in support of everyone that was sharing, and it was just again powerful. It was very cathartic. It was really good, and there was not a dry eye in that room. I mean, there were so many people that, they were shedding tears, and, when I was sharing some of my stories, I had to pause for a moment, and when I was done with the session, like all of it, I ended up going back to my room, and I had to sit there just in silence to kind of decompress from all of it, because it's like whenever I do an Imagine Listening session, almost feel like I'm absorbing those stories, and the emotion and everything with it. So it was that emotionally intense that I needed to go and be by myself for a little while to decompress, but it was really good. And then the open mic part, which is the best thing, is that we start out emotionally intense, but then we end it with laughter, sharing funny 911 stories like we're doing now, open mic, how we do this every week and check in with each other and all. So it's a good way to end up getting stuff out and then all laughing together and leaving in a good mood, but also with some form of closure and healing in support of each other. So thank you all so very much. And then I presented a session with my good friend Sarah Weston, who is the executive director and founder of 911 Wonder Women Inc. And this session was called "Don't Be Afraid to Be a Disruptor." And we were going through the presentation and everything up until the moment that we were walking in to present, and the room was packed, and we went through the session, and it was great. It was so good. So if you were there, thank you so much. And it looks like we are going to be headed to the Florida APCO conference and doing this session as well. There was a lot of great discussion that came out of it, and I'm excited to continue to do the session at other conferences. So it was really, really good. Now, some video. So a lot of you have probably seen this video already because I posted it, but I want to play it again. And I do have to warn you now, I did turn the volume down to the video because of something that happens. And you will tell here in a moment, but I want to play this so that you can see what happened. So I'm going to go ahead and play the video, and then I'll give you some background. Okay. So let me make some adjustments here. Oops. Carly, what is going on? Welcome. And I just need to switch my mix minus here really quick. All right. So I'm going to play this video. Becky Snook, what is going on, Becky? Also, while you're here in the audience, I did get your email. So I need to set up that the link, and I'll get it to you because we got some cool stuff coming from Kansas APCO for the training days. It's going to be good. All right, let me turn off my notifications here just in case someone sends me a message. You're going to end up hearing it, the tone. So here we go. Yes, you're welcome. Oh, trying to stay warm in Kansas. Oh, it was actually warm here in Indiana. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play this, and and then I'll fill you in on some of the stuff that happened, because there's some funny stuff that happened during this time, and then we'll get to some of the funny stories as well. But as always, if you have any funny 911 stories that you want to share, please throw them into the comments there, and I will read them, because that's what this is all about, is sharing the lighter side of dispatch and, laughing together. So here we go. Here's the video. Wait, before I started here, a few days ago, 2 days ago, it was my mother's birthday, and this is a surprise. She thought that I was flying straight from California back home, and I had told her that I was back home, but here we go.
Ma.
Happy birthday. I wish he was here.
Oh, me too. I wish he was here. Oh my God. You're here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow, Nando.
Maybe you should call him. Let me call him.
Yeah, hold on. Let him call him really quick so he can. I'm recording it.
That boy's here. Why did you do that? How did you do it? I'm over there texting you, telling you, well, what is
You should come over here, dude. Okay.
Don't have an asthma attack.
Okay, maybe you should sit down.
Yeah, sit down for a minute.
Oh, man.
Oh my goodness.
Don't have an asthma attack. I know. It wasn't even that long ago.
This is the best present ever.
Your face is in the
Oh.
carpet.
Oh my God.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, man. Oh. So let me tell you, let me see if I can switch this up here. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So leading up, hold on, let me look into the comments here. Gary says, didn't know I was going to need tissues for the show tonight. Yeah, dude, me too. I was there, and just watching it again was making me tear up and stuff. So up until like going through the week, my brother and I had been talking, and actually I had already had talked to my family and stuff about this, that I was possibly going to do this. And on my way to the airport last week Sunday, when I was heading out um to California for the Calnina conference, I called up my sisters and I said, so this is what I'm thinking of doing. I'm going to change my destination, and I'm going to switch it from going back home to over there with you guys. And you guys just take mom out for dinner, and I'm just going to show up. So then we were trying to get our brother, Fernando, but we call him Nando for short. And we were going to try to get Nando to go too. And he's like, man, I don't know if I can do it, because the tickets were like crazy. So he was looking. And then it ended up being like for sure that he was going to be there. So we're trying to figure out how this is going to go down. And I'm flying, from Cali to Orlando. And when I arrived there, it was like 12:30 in the morning. Okay. And I waited for an hour to get the van that my sister mentions in the video. She's like, thanks for parking your obnoxious van. That's all they had were vans. So I'm lucky I got a vehicle. So it was like 1:30 maybe when I finally left with a car, because it was nuts. But my mom had sent a text message around that time, and she goes, did you ever make it home? And I'm thinking, I'm standing here waiting for a van. Should I respond or just leave it? So I just left it. And then I took off to the hotel because my brother was going to show up later on that day, which would have been Thursday. He was going to show up later on around 11, a little bit after 11 a.m. So I ended up getting to the hotel, and as soon as I got to the hotel, well, actually, hold on. First, before I went to the hotel, I ended up stopping at the gas station to get something to eat because nothing was open. I had not eaten dinner or anything. And no, I did not get a gas station burrito or an energy drink. It crossed my mind, but I didn't want to go through any battles or go through hell. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll fill you in some other time. But for those who know, you know what I'm talking about. So I ended up going home. I don't think I went to sleep until probably around 3:30 in the morning. And when I woke up, it was like 6 o'clock, maybe 6:30. I don't know, something like that. And so I barely had any sleep. So then I go and I get my brother. We go back to my hotel room and stuff, and we're just kind of waiting. And we end up going to lunch, and then we end up going to pick up a couple things. And then we're trying to figure out how we're going to do this. Are we going to meet at the place for dinner, or are we going to go to my mom and siblings' place there because they live right next door? And it was decided we're just going to meet there. So we take off. Now, if you know Orlando going into Central Florida on I-4, that road is a bitch. The highway just sucks all the time because it's always a traffic jam. So around that time, my mom was going to pick up my sister Devon, and we weren't sure if we were going to make it there at the same time or if we were going to end up like next to each other at the light. So we are hauling ass in this big ass Chrysler Pacifica trying to get to my mom's place before them. Now, we were passing a light, which is by the road that they would be coming out of. And I turned to look, and I could have swore it was my mom's car that was at the light as we're passing. And I was like, dude, I think that was the car. And my brother goes, well, cat's out the bag now, man. Your fat head looking back at them. They had to have seen you. So I told him, I was like, dude, the windows are tinted. There's no way that they would have been able to see me unless they just know the shape of my noggin, if that's what you're saying. So we're still hauling. And our sister Devon, who's with our mom at the time riding shotgun, she's texting us in our group chat and is like, okay, we're at this spot. And we're like, all right, we're at this spot. And we're which is funny because I'm surprised my mom didn't start asking, like, who are you texting? Like, what are you doing? So it was the funniest thing, man. And we made it. We end up getting there, we park, and we go inside and we're waiting. And we go to sit down on the couch, and then we hear the car, and our sister Crystal's like, go hide, they're here. We're like, what do we do? So we both went into our mom's room, and we were waiting, and we hear them walk in and stuff. And then, well, you saw what happens there. But what you don't see is that I walked out, and I was standing there for a little while, and I was just like, I was trying to think, like, do I just go and just grab onto her, or what should I do? And that's when you hear my sister Crystal go, Ma. And then she turns around and she's, ah! Now, let me see if I can go back here really quick. Let's see. I think it's right at, yes, right here. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear it, but I want to play it really quick. Right there. Me clearing my throat and looking to the side. I wasn't sure when my brother was going to come out. That's why I went, and I looked to the side, and he never came out. I was like, what the hell is going on? That's why it takes a little bit. That's why I finally said, well, let me call him, see if he'll pick up and stuff, because she, right away she's like, where's Nando? Like, I wish he was here. And that's why I was saying, I wish he was here too. I wish he could be here and all that stuff. But that's what's happening right there. It was so funny, man. And then, so when I call, and then, then he's like, yeah. So the other thing that you didn't get to see, because there wasn't another person taking video of this, was that when the video stopped, all of us are all like just crying, man. And my sisters come around and we all hug our mom, and we say happy birthday and stuff. And so she has asthma, which is why my sisters kept saying, don't have an asthma attack. And she ends up sitting down on the couch after a little bit, and we're sitting there with her, and she's like, I'm just so surprised. I'm so surprised. And then she got her inhalers, like, oh man, it was hilarious. But I'm also glad that she didn't have an asthma attack, but she had no idea. And I had already told her, that I was home in Indiana when really I was trying to haul ass and make my way to her place. So it was a good time. We ended up going to eat dinner and stuff. And on the way back, we were singing songs and everything. And we sang happy birthday to her in the car as we were heading back to her place. And she goes, you should have recorded that. You should have recorded it because it was funny. And I said, I will record it, but this time we're going to sing as obnoxious as possible. We all sounded like we were trashed. We were not, but we sounded like that because we were like over the top singing happy birthday. And I do have that video, but it's not on my computer. It's on my phone, and I won't be able to just pull it up. Maybe I'll share it some other time. But either way, we pulled it off. Yeah. I was so happy, man. I was so happy that we were able to pull that off and surprise mom. And well, as you saw, she was obviously surprised. She was screaming really loud. And that video, I have it turned down to about like that much, because all the way turned up, I would have had to like go like this, because it was pretty loud. And what's funny is that our mom was saying, oh man, the neighbors probably heard me screaming and stuff, were wondering what the heck is going on over there. I was like, I know, they're gonna think that you're getting murdered or something. But nope, it was just us. So I hope you enjoyed that video. It was awesome. And as let's see, Lavelle here says, yes, I cried the first time I saw it. A mother's love for her children is just amazing. And so very true. Carly says here, you have an amazing family. I love how supportive they are. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're really close. But let me tell you, we got into some shit together growing up and everything. And like I said, this is Open Mic Live. If you have any funny 911 stories, throw them right there into the comments and I will read them. But also, we can talk about some personal stuff. Oh, starting to cough from laughing so much. And what I mean by personal stuff is some of the stuff that you got into, with your siblings. And I'll go ahead and start out. And there was a story, though, that I will share with you here in just a moment. It was from Imagine Listening during the open mic session. And I want to kind of talk about this as well, because this has to do with names. This has to do with any names that have ever come up during the time that you've either taken a phone call or, have been given to run. And I'm talking about funny names. Okay. So, I'll get to that part here in a minute. So one of the things that, my siblings and I used to do growing up is, I'm sure you remember American Gladiators, right? I want to see. I'll type it in here. That was a show that we really, really dug. That was a show that we got into. We were waiting to, be adults so that we could be on that show, and that never happened. The show never didn't stay long enough. But what we would do is, how they had the I don't know, I don't remember if it was like Joust or whatever it was, but you would stand on two separate platforms, and you had like almost like a staff with two like kind of, what would you even say that they are? They're like these little like a sponge type thing on either one, and you would hit each other with it, and you would have to knock the other person down. Well, what we did it was so stupid, but we had this coffee table in the living room, and we flipped it upside down, because upside down it had, on the legs, there was enough room where you could actually stand there. So we would get on either side, and we would have pillows, and we would start hitting each other just like American Gladiators, and we would fall off of it. Well, one time I was on there, and I was going up against my sister Devon, who was way smaller than me and everything, and we're playing and stuff, and I clocked her one hard. And if she's watching this, she's probably like, this dick. He's telling this story. Actually, I don't think I hit her on the side. I might have swept the leg and clocked her with a pillow, because what she did was she like flipped and slammed her leg right on that coffee table. Oh man, it was a lot of fun. But I remember it like it was yesterday that we did that. There were so many different things that we did. We got into, we used to play with this box that this new refrigerator had come in, and my brother and I would get inside of that box, and you know how big a box with a refrigerator box is. We would get in that box, and we would like not run, but we would like move as fast as we could to the back of it to make it, and push it to make it flip up. And we would be in there, and we've always been like pro wrestling fans, so we pretended like that was like our cage. That was our cage match. So we would be in that box, and we're like just hitting each other and everything, and then we would drop it over, and then roll it, and then drop and pull it back up, and we kept doing this over and over and over and over. And our younger sisters ran outside, and they wanted to play as well. But us being the older brothers, we were being jerks. And every time they went to get in the box with us, we would push it so that it would go up. Oh, what assholes, right? And we talk about this sometimes now, and they just give us a stink eye, like, yeah, we remember what you did. Well, so here's the worst part of it, though. So our neighbor had this German Shepherd. The German Shepherd's name was Sarge. And that German Shepherd was smart as hell. That dog was the coolest freaking dog, but he was also like, he could sense if you didn't like him or if you were scared, because then he would start messing with you. So our sisters didn't really dig that dog, and the dog knew it. So that dog would mess with them sometimes. And that day, as we're in the box, we drop it down, and we hear like the jingling of his collar, and we're like, oh no. So we push the box up as our sisters are trying to get in, and the box goes up, and they're just like, no. They're just pounding on the box, man, just pounding and pounding and pounding. They're like, let us in, let us in. And the stupid dog, you can hear the dog running during that time. You can hear the dog running, and they're just ah! So, did we let them in? No, we didn't. They ended up running to the deck where the dog would not go up to, and they ended up getting away, but oh my lord, I can hear them now. It was so funny. But we also got our asses handed to us by our dad, which we deserved, you know. We fully deserved it. Yeah. So for those of you who are here right now listening and everything, and I hope you're laughing too, but what are some of the things that you and your siblings did? And if you didn't, if you're an only child, how about you and your friends? Because I don't know, I like to reflect sometimes on the shit that we did growing up, because sometimes I wonder, how did we make it out of that without getting like seriously injured? Or not just that, dying. Because some of the stupid shit that we did growing up is like, for real? Like, did we really do that? Oh man. Oh, Christopher Brown says that's just wrong. Yes, it is. It is. It was messed up. So the other thing that we used to do is, there was our house, and then our neighbors, and then there was this big dirt road, and it went down, it was like a hill, it was going downhill. And what we would do is, so we had two I can't even think of what it. Oh, a wagon. Jeez, I can't even think. We had two different wagons, and I'm pretty sure they were both like radio flyers. And I don't know about you if you ever did this, but we would get inside the wagon and then pull back the handle, and someone would get behind and push, and we would use the handle as like a steering wheel. So we would race down, but what we would do when we got to the very end, because it would go into a dirt driveway, and then it was a hill going up into our backyard. Oh, you did? Okay, we're not the only ones. All right, awesome, good. Thank you, Carly. Excellent. So we would haul ass going down that hill, and when we got to the dirt part, and where the little hill goes up into our backyard, we would go up. And my homie John, what is going on, man? Evening, brother. You worked hard and are doing well. Keep at it. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It has been a while. Welcome to Open Mic Live. So we would be going downhill, and as soon as we got to the hill that was going up into our backyard, we this sounds so stupid now, but it was so much fun. We would go into the dirt, okay? And we would purposely go up and ramp and boop, 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 boop. We would flip it, and we called it stunt driving. Again, I have no idea how we escaped that without any serious injury. I mean, those radio flyers, they're not plastic, man. Those things were straight up metal. Like, if you clock somebody with it, you're donezo. Like, maybe not donezo, but you at least, you probably get knocked out or something. But that was some of the things that we did. And sometimes we would just have the one radio flyer, and both of my sisters, excuse me, younger twin sisters, would be in there, and my brother Nando and I would be running with it, and one of them is holding on, and they're just like, ah! Just screaming, because we're hauling ass down that hill. And then when we get to it, we would say, whip it. And they would turn it really hard, and Oh my God. It was the most fun. So hilarious. We had such a good time growing up and everything. And, we had electronics, like we had a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, we had Sega Genesis and all that stuff, but we spent a lot of time outside as well playing. Which you don't always see that nowadays, but that's what we did. We got into some shit. We got into trouble, which was fun. But there's always consequences with that shit too. And I know I've shared this story before, but I'm going to go ahead and share it again for those who may not have ever heard it. But there are some consequences sometimes when you're having too much fun and you don't listen to, let's say, your grandmother. So during this time, like we didn't have a washer and dryer yet. So my grandmother would take the clothes outside and wash the clothes and then hang them up on a line. And this line went from one tree to another tree. And my brother and I are playing on this willow tree. We would climb up and down, we would swing from the branches and everything else. And that day, our grandmother was telling us that we are going to fall and that we need to get down. And we weren't listening. We were being little shits. I'll admit it. We were being jerk offs. And we kept doing it and kept doing it. And she even told us, I'm going to tell your mom if you don't listen. And we're like, and we kept doing it. Now, remember, I said this was a willow tree. Okay. So we're up there being assholes and and Granny ends up, she calls us down and we're like, we're not going to get down. But she goes, no, come over here. You got to check this out. It's really cool. And we're like, oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll go down there and see what's cool. So, oh, shit. Becky already. Oh, the switch. So both of us get down, but we jump down in glorious fashion, like, oh, jumping down. And we're thinking we're cool. And we go over and she's like, that right there. And I'm looking at a switch and she's like, get it. Can you like break it off really quick? Let me show you something. And we're like, oh, what is she going to show us? Like, this is going to be cool. This is going to be cool is what we thought. Okay. That's what we thought. Break the switch off. And it wasn't a thick one. It was a thin one. And the thin ones are the ones that hurt. Like the thicker one, yeah, that hurts too, but not like the thin one. And it makes that sound too. And that is what happened. She didn't speak any English or anything. It was all Spanish. So she would be like, tráemela, like bring it here. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. She's like, let me show you something. And she grabs it. And as soon as she grabs it, oh man, like we knew it was over because of the way she grabbed it. And our granny was super sweet, but don't be an asshole to her because she will tell you what's up. She snagged that thing and it was almost like slow motion, just going, and you can see it whipping back and coming back. And the look on my face, I can picture it. And I was probably just right on the legs, yo. Right on the legs, the shins. Just whoosh. Ah! And I remember just holding onto my leg and I'm like, oh my gosh. And my younger brother's like, oh no. And he's like instant crying already. And she's like, ándale, órale. Ends up hitting him too. And we're both, oh no. She's yelling at us like, te dije, like I told you. And then at the end, she's like, I'm gonna tell your dad. And we're like, oh hell no. Our legs are messed up as it is, not our asses too. Like, we're not going to be able to sit for a week. Oh man, it was the craziest shit. But you know, when you don't listen, sometimes that shit happens. Or at least it did when we were kids, man. Oh geez. And that was the only time that ever happened, but we we obviously deserved it because we were being jerks. It was the funniest thing. Becky says, my brother and I fought so much. A simple batting and catching in the backyard would turn into a wrestling match or chasing each other with a bat. LOL. Thankfully, we love each other as adults. She goes on to say, my dad grew up in the Missouri Ozarks. I definitely know what the switch is. Yeah, see? So even as an adult later on, I used to tease my granny. Like I remember one time specifically, she was cooking and I walked up and I was talking to her, you know, and I knew what I was going to do and she could sense it because she kept turning around and just kind of looking at me. I'm like, what? And she's like, what are you doing? Like, I'm not doing anything. Like, I'm just talking with you. And she would look at me and I would try not to laugh. And she's like, okay. And then she'd go back to cooking and stuff. And then I would just poke her right on her side, right in the waist. And she would go, oh! And she would start yelling at me and be like, I knew it. I knew you were going to do something. And I would just be laughing and laughing. And she would say, I'm going to get you. And I would say, you can't run. You can't chase me. I'm faster than you. And she goes, but I'm smarter than you. And I was like, oh, well, maybe. And I did it again. And I ended up doing it again. I waited for a good amount of time and I did it again. And she started laughing and she had her spoon and she's looking at me and she's talking to me like this with the spoon. And she's like, if you do it again, you're going to get it. And I was like, I was just laughing and I said, nah, no. That's not going to happen. And, you know, I just laughing and stuff and laughing. And she goes, remember what happened when you were a kid? And I was like, oh, maybe something is going to happen. But I had to know. I had to know what was going to happen. Curiosity killed the cat, right? That's basically the same shit here because I waited again. And then, bam! But when I did it, she was ready because yes, the spoon. She turned right around. Pop! Oh my Lord. It was like that didn't even do it justice. Nope, not even justice. It was it was almost like the switch, but it was loud. And it was also, you know, a spoon that had like holes in it and stuff. So it went even faster. It was just pop. And oh my Lord, I had like right around this area, I had a huge mark from where she hit me. And I was just laughing, trying not to cry. Yes, no drag at all. Nope. It was super fast. And she told me, she's like, I warned you. I told you that was going to happen. And then she started laughing so hard. And she's like, let me see your arm. And I was like, look what you did. And she goes, pop. And she did it again. And she goes, that's so that you don't think about doing it again. Oh my God, it was the funniest shit, man. Oh, I miss my grandmother so much. She was the coolest. She was the coolest. And her sense of humor, oh man, she would have made an amazing dispatcher. That's where I get my humor from, man. It's from her. It was the funniest thing. I'm trying to remember other things that happened. Oh, I've shared this one, but I'm going to go ahead and share it again because there are folks who may not have heard it before. But so she would let us stay up. She would let us stay up in the morning, or in the morning, at night, I mean, until like late, almost in the morning. And we'd be sitting there watching cartoons, and it would, a lot of times it would be like on a Saturday when my parents were out on a date or something, at a dance or whatever. And if you remember Nickelodeon, they had something called Snick, and it was nighttime Nickelodeon. Like they had Are You Afraid of the Dark? And I think they played Ren and Stimpy and all of that as well on Nickelodeon. And so this is like early 90s, maybe it was late 80s, early 90s, something like that. And so we would stay up and we would watch Ren and Stimpy, Rugrats, like all that stuff during Snick. And then we would watch Are You Afraid of the Dark? And I remember our granny would be like, "Oh, I don't want to watch this." Yes, yeah. There you go, Carly. You know what I'm talking about. And you could always tell because there was a big window, okay, in our living room. And even when the shades were down, like just through the little spots, like you could see when a car was pulling in. And we would just be sitting there watching, eating chips or, cookies, whatever it is, because she's letting us stay up. And we're like, yeah, grandma's the shit. She's letting us stay up. We get to watch these cartoons. We get to watch Are You Afraid of the Dark and everything. And I was already a teenager and stuff because I'm 5 years older than my brother, 6 years older than our younger sisters. And we're watching this. Well, our parents get back, and our grandmother yells at us, "Correle, correle, correle!" Like run, run, run! and oh, I shit you not, we would be like the fucking police were there to arrest us. That's how it was. Oh man, and our dad, even though my brother and I are like very much taller than our dad, he still has like this firm tone and everything. If you ever watched that 70s show, our dad is Red. He's the Mexican version of Red. He's Rojo. That's my dad. Like, I will break my foot off in your ass, Red. That's who our dad is. So we would be all freaked out because she's like, run, they're here, and just we would just start running. Now let me explain. This house, in the living room, our rooms are at the very back of the house, the very back. So we're hauling ass, and the driveway over to the front door, it's not that far. So we only had so much, very little time to get to our rooms and pretend like we were asleep. So we haul ass running. We go through the kitchen. Now, as soon as we get to the dining room, so that like the dining room was here, and you turn left, and there was a hallway down to my brother and I's room, and then our sister's room. But when you get to the dining room, we're full blown hauling ass, and then we're like, "Arr!" And then trying to tiptoe through the dining room. And the reason for that is because we had a china cabinet there with all the fine china that we had in this cabinet. But the sliders, they were glass. So just walking normal, sometimes you could hear the clink, 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 like of the glass going back and forth, and it was loud. So we'd be hauling ass and then just tiptoeing. And then as soon as we passed, start running again, everybody jumping into the beds, and we would be laying there, and you can hear boom, 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 our dad walking towards the back because as we're running, our grandmother is laughing so hard because of our reaction and us running, and her knowing that we have to stop before we get to the bedroom. And so she was already laughing. We're in the bed, in our beds, And you can hear her like trying not to laugh all the way in the living room. Like that's how loud she was. So our parents knew that we were staying up. Plus our grandmother doesn't watch Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like she wouldn't change the channel or anything. She would just leave it because she was laughing so hard. And so they knew that we were running, that we had been up. And also because we left our plates probably of food there because we didn't put it away. We just hauled ass running because we didn't want to get caught. We didn't want to get in trouble. So we would hear that, the boof, 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 boof of our dad walking towards the back. And you would hear the china cabinet going gling, 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 gling as he's walking. And then you feel his presence. And we're laying there. And we're trying to like to breathe, like, you know, just breathe like we're asleep, like just normal. And a couple times my younger brother started busting up laughing, and then we would be in trouble. We'd be hit. Or our dad would go to our sister's room, and our younger sister Devon would just start bawling, and she'd be like, I'm so sorry. We're like, fuck. We're like, we're hit. We got caught. But then there would be other times where we would be laying there, and the way the bed faced for me, like our beds faced opposite. So I would be on the one that was further to the back, and my head is facing the wall. Or I'm like this, and I can see the wall is what I mean. And my brother would see the doorway, so he would have to have his eyes closed. I didn't have to. All I could see was the huge shadow, the silhouette of our dad on the wall, and I'd just be like hoping that it was enough for him to go away. And one time, actually more than once, he actually walked into the room and walked in between our beds. So then I closed my eyes right away, and he's standing there. He's like, Richie, I know you're awake. I'm going. He's like, get up. I'm invested. Like I am committed, fully committed. I am not moving. So then he turns around and goes to my brother, and he's like, Nando, I know you're awake. Get up. And this time he didn't get up. He was just laying there. And my brother or my siblings and I have talked to our dad about this. And we asked him, like, so what were you thinking during this time that we are pretending to be asleep? And he goes, well, as soon as I left your guys' room and I went to the living room, as I'm walking to the living room, I am laughing to myself. And I'm trying not to laugh too loud because I had to remain the firm authority figure so that you guys didn't think you could get away with shit. So he obviously knew and stuff, but he just let us go. He just let it go and stuff. But then he would leave and he would just start busting up laughing and then talking to our grandmother and our mom, and they would laugh about it as well. But man, like that was tense. We'd be sitting there all stressed out. And I remember one time laying there after he left, and I was holding my chest, and my heart was just like, oh man, that shit was so funny. Am I the only one? Like, did anybody else go through that? I'm sure you did. I'm sure everyone remembers a time when they were laying in bed and their parents were like, because you were staying up and you weren't supposed to stay up, and they went to check on you and just, please go away. I don't want to get in trouble. But if we are the only ones, then man, you missed out because it was so much fun. Excuse me. So, Tim comes in here. I plead the fifth. Now, growing up, though, and having my own kids, I've done this as well, where I've been downstairs. and I've heard my kids talking and stuff, and I'll yell upstairs, "Go to bed. You need to go to bed." And sometimes I'll flash back to me being a kid and everything I did, and I'm like, "Oh, damn it. It's going to come back tenfold." And I've walked into the room where my daughters are at, and I've stood there because they were talking and they heard me coming up, and I would hear them go, he's coming, Dad's coming. And I would just stand in the doorway and just wait and just listen to them. And I would look, because they're in bunk beds, so I would look over, and Lola is breathing, passed out. Look underneath. Olivia's like this, like smiling. And then I'll just say, "You two need to go to sleep." "Okay, we love you." Definitely. Now it's my turn, because we did all that shit and everything, and now I find myself going over there. "Oh, my mom is on. What is going on, Mom?" She says, "I have seen him too, and now it's my turn to laugh in silence." Thanks, Mom. I love you too. Carly, the cycle repeats. Yes, the cycle does repeat for sure. Oh man. Yeah. It was a good time, and it's a good time now, as a parent myself, because I see myself in my kids, and some of the stuff they do, especially the youngest, especially Olivia. She's basically me. She's just a girl version of me. And some of the stuff that she's done before, I'm standing there and I'm like, "No, you don't need to be doing that, because, whatever, I'm just keeping that look." And then she's like, "Okay." And she walks away, and then I start laughing because I can't help it. I stay firm, discipline, whatever I got to do and stuff. But when they leave, or there have been a couple times, and I know we're over the hour now, but I have to ask all of you with your own kids, if you have kids, or maybe even, nieces and nephews or whatever, have you had a time where you've been firm and disciplined your kids, and you run upstairs or run to the other room because you have to laugh? There have been a few times, man, where I was firm, I disciplined, did what I had to do, and then I ran upstairs like this. I ran upstairs covering my mouth because I was trying not to laugh. And there was one time there was one time I was trying to be firm with one of my daughters, and I started laughing. Like, I could not hold it back. Like, I kept going, like, like it was like I was twitching, and I was trying to hold it back. And she noticed what was going on, so she's kind of like smiling a little bit. I'm like, "No, you are not going to smile." And she's like, "Well, you are." I'm like, "Damn it." I didn't say "damn it." In my head, I was thinking "damn it," like, got me. Because sometimes your kids do shit that remind you of you, and you can't help but laugh. Because a lot of the times when they do something, they feel bad about it as it is. So just a look from you to them, it probably makes them feel worse. But then, there'll be those times, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I need to laugh," because it's so outrageous. Like, you're pretty damn clever, and now I'm getting payback. And I have to run away and be like, "Ha, ha, ha, ha. Oh, they took a chance." Oh, that is great. Well, thank you all so very much for joining me tonight for a special Saturday open mic live. Again, I do open mic live every single Thursday. But when I'm traveling and out of town, I usually do it on a Saturday, like we're doing now. And in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be out of town. But I'm thinking we might be able to do a special open mic live from where I'm going to be. And you'll see where that is here pretty soon. It's going to be cool. It'll be a lot of fun. My mom says, I want to thank everyone for the birthday wishes. You all are so awesome in what you do. Have a blessed night. God bless. Yay. Thank you, Mom. Love you. Happy birthday once again. For those who are watching, if you have any comments, questions, or you want to be a guest on the show, you can email us. Jeez. Kind of choking there on breathing and spit, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, if you have any comments, questions, or you want to be a guest on the show, you can email us, and that's going to be wttpodcast@gmail.com. Once again, that is wttpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter. That is @911podcast. You can like us on Facebook. That is facebook.com/Within the Trenches podcast. This episode has been sponsored by InDigital, as well as Rapid Deploy and Carbine. And if you are looking for any bonus content, and a big shout out again, as always, to patrons. Thank you so very much. But if you're looking for any bonus content, you can check us out and support us. And that's going to be patreon.com/WTT podcast. This can be seen on Facebook, YouTube, as well as Twitter. And then for patrons only, a perk, audio versions of the DRT, the Dispatchers Roundtable, as well as Open Mic Live, go out to them only in podcast version, audio style. So make sure to check out that. And if you want that perk that only patrons get, become a patron. And thank you so very much for that. You can also listen for the flagship show Within the Trenches podcast 24/7 on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and withinthetrenches.net. Have a good one, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for the job that you do. And again, a shout out to Cal Nina for having me out there, and also choosing the sessions for Imagine Listening, as well as the session that I did with Sarah Weston. Don't be afraid to be a disruptor. Thank you all so very much, and for being there for Imagine Listening, and for just coming out and saying hello. Thank you so very much, and we will see you in the next one. Cheers.